audiences can spot a phony, and if you're not into what you're doing, they will tell you, they will point it out. So just always be authentic, tell them what's on your mind, and do the stuff that you want to do in a way that you know is going to entertain them. That's it.
That's true. That's very true. As the kids say, I fuck with you. You ever heard that?
I fuck with you too. Yeah, no cap.
Tell the lovely co-host, wife, April, send her my regards.
Absolutely.
And as I say, I ride or die with Steeltoe. Just don't pull a Kanye on me. Don't do anything crazy. Don't do anything crazy. Don't do anything crazy. Don't do anything crazy.
He's a guy who's he's a nerd. He's a nerdy guy. The only thing he's ever done in his life probably smoked a little weed and maybe, had too many, what do they drink up in Minneapolis up there? The Grain Belt Premium. He probably had one too many Grainies and maybe smoked a little weed one night. And then all of a sudden, his wife is on this podcast with Christy Mayer. And Christy Mayer goes, oh, hey, have you met Nick? I guess you guys live close to each other. And I saw Nick's eyes just light up. He's like, oh, really? Somebody with no podcast numbers lives in my community. I could do whatever I want to them because they're going to want to suck my dick to get my $1 million super chats. And then he invites him over. Dick. They get to know each other, and now they're popping mollies, ecstasies.
And I've had Aaron on my show. And I said I'm not going to talk bad about people that are on my show. However, I'm breaking that rule tonight because if Aaron the more I watch Aaron the last 2-3 weeks and his overacting.
Thank God I got my fucking children away from you before you smooched their head and gave them coke.
And now I feel like he's entered the realm of now he's acting. And therefore, for me, that's when I'm turned off. I liked Aaron. I respected him. Especially, I was a fan. I'm happy to admit that early on, especially. But over the last 6 months to a year, it's just been a disaster, and it's of its own doing.
A local podcaster is now facing charges for something he allegedly did while live streaming his show. Aaron Imholt is the host of the Steeltoe Morning Show that has been on the air for at least a decade. Fox 9's Karen Scullin joins us now to explain what is happening here. Karen?
37-year-old Aaron Imholt made his first court appearance this morning for disseminating private sexual images without consent. But he appeared to do this while actually live streaming.
A lot has changed in a year and a half. He went to one of the dart throwers to being now the recipient of the dart.
In a year!
What does Steeltoe have to do for his character arc to go back up in the right direction?
I mean, like revenge porn, quadruple, calling the feds, calling the police, getting involved with the church, ruining families, your legacy being demolished, taking down 500,000 subscriber channels.
He fell from a small spot to a lower spot. Rekeita fell.
Oh, he jumped off a cliff. Cliff.
You may know him from his online legal commentary, but YouTuber and attorney Nick Rekieta is in some legal trouble of his own. We break down his arrest, the search warrant, and the charges he's now facing, which could potentially result in prison time.
And Nick Rekieta is the same way. It's like they have life by the balls, and they've built a career in law school, kids, wife, great house. It's the American dream, honestly.
And it's hard to achieve these days.
It is hard to achieve. And on top of that, you become YouTube famous. We all get it. Look, we're doing the same thing. We're podcasting. Sure, we want numbers and all that stuff. And it's debatable whether our sense of self-worth is attached to that. You know what I mean? That's the real test. Can you turn off the cameras and feel whole and feel like your family's good enough? Obviously, I don't think Nick Rekieta is the kind of guy who can do that. The best thing for him to have done was to just disappear.
what I said that I hoped I would be able to share with you at Hackamania, implying that I have some evidence about Aaron and his cum eating at Hackamania. We have something for you that is going to be unfucking real. Rekeita is confirmed and coming. Holy shit. Try to deny you ate cum.
Come! 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 Oh no! 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 No!
What a hype man April is. Goddamn.
Thank you, April! Thank you, April!
I think the most innocent person in all of this is April. April doesn't have kids.
Did you get the permission at a traffic stop?
What are you talking
You're
about?
wrong. You're
When did you get the permission? When did you get the
wrong?
permission?
You're getting it wrong because you're not plugged into this again.
No. I'm genuine. Well, when did you get the permission from her to share the text messages?
It was written on her boyfriend's middle finger, you dumb bitch. Like,
Well,
when do you
answer the
think I got it?
What they were saying back and forth to each other was way less important to me than the money I was bringing in, and me and Karl just laughing and laughing. Every once in a while, a nugget would get in there, like, I'm going to say this once and I'll say it again. And we were just like, ah! At one point, I was crying laughing about something, I guess. I don't even know. It was all a blur. But if Kiki made some good points, I would love to have her reiterate those, or you can tell me.
Johnny, are you there?
I'm here.
Can you believe it's been 11 months almost to the day that we sat in the same spot, talked about those two knuckleheads, Aaron Emholt and Nick Rekieta?
I can't believe he's got his court case over this quickly.
Yeah, his court case, Aaron's had her court case, and it just keeps getting worse and worse and worse because there's a theme here, and it's the same theme from 11 months ago. They still haven't learned their lesson. Aaron Emholt still runs his mouth on live stream and digs his holes deeper. Rekeita, another guy who, as of Friday night, the spark for us to get together 11 months later, still doing it, still constantly turning on the computer and making his life worse and making his legacy worse and becoming more of an embarrassment to his family.
Most people that get punished for crimes, kind of go on the down low, maybe distance yourself from it, not fly out to Vegas.
Let's get up to date. When we last left, they went their separate ways. April gets divorced. At that point, so Nick, April parts ways. Nick's going back to his suburban nuclear family life, but they've both been sentenced in the court of law. So what did Aaron get charged with after?
Well, Aaron got charged with a special statute that was just signed into a law 2 years ago in the Minnesota State Court over revenge porn. And by him showing his former lover that she did not have permission to share anymore, that put in the revenge porn thing right away. It's a Class A misdemeanor, I believe. 1 year in prison, $1,000 fine. If he would have did it in any other state, his Steeltoe wouldn't even got in trouble. But the problem is you got an attorney that you're pissing off, and he called the cops on him for doing it. Nick Rekieta.
The picture that he shared and was charged with of revenge porn was Nick Rekieta's wife.
Yes, Kayla. Absolutely. Yeah, he showed a picture of Kayla to Gino Biscotti, to all people, that fucking guy. And received, was literally facing a year in jail. He went and saw the thing. And revenge porn? I come on.
It's still, it's still a headache that he put himself in, because once again, he can't help himself. I said this in the last video. He's a fuck up, and he will continue to fuck up. This is one of his fuck ups. It was, he didn't have to even, what am I trying to say? It's like, you don't tempt fate. Everyone should wash their hands and go away. There's been a divorce. There's been lots of things that went sideways and went wrong, and it's time to just move on. So best way to move on is to do that. But no, he's got to continue to run his mouth. It's just stupid. He left himself vulnerable. You know, when you got something, a dispute with someone that's being played out between two streamers live, you got to be smart, and he's just stupid. So Nick Rekieta, speaking of stupid, last we left off, we didn't know what the sentencing was going to be. He's been sentenced. You want to update us on that?
Okay, so he went in. He's basically a first-time nonviolent offender. So he was facing 8 years in prison with the child neglect and all that. Got everything dropped down to basically just simple drug possession. Was given a 30-day jail sentence. 2 days already given, so he's got a 28-day jail sentence hanging over his head, and 5 years of probation, and 80 hours of community service, and I believe it was a $10,000 fine. So that's I don't know. I would have rather just done the 28 days and got it over with, but you know, that's what I did in the same situation.
Let's not forget that all this is over essentially another man's 26-year-old wife.
Yes. So what this is a man's a nerd. A nerd. The guy's a nerd. He marries his high school sweetheart, pops out 5 children, goes on during COVID, becomes he gets 1 million followers, making millions of dollars, and it boosted his ego to a point where he's like, I'm fucking what's that the guy with the pile of cocaine on the table in Scarface.
Tony Montoya?
Yeah, Tony Montoya. Yeah, he's just, the parties are getting heavier and heavier and heavier because he thinks he can get away with everything now. But you can't go on and clown police departments on your stream constantly and think you're going to get away with anything. When this should be the show when streaming becomes stupid. He got busted for being high on a stream. That's how he got busted. That's how it started. You can't live in a small town, be a lawyer, go to church every weekend, and then go on your stream and say you're banging some guy's wife every weekend. It just doesn't work.
Yeah, here's the dark, sinister thing of it all. Because we saw here's the hot tub photo. And basically, there are 3 parents there. And then there's one person that is not a parent, does not have children. And in a way, she was pimped out. And ended up, which we will see, hooked on drugs. And basically embarrassed beyond belief by a bunch of snakes, vipers, and we're gonna see all of it. So since that happened, he started showing up in the Dabbleverse, and basically because Patrick Melton formulated a show off of the WATP formula of mainly piggybacking off of John content, Stuttering John content, that launched them to bigger show, a lot of subscribers. Melton kind of did the same thing with Aaron, and Aaron certainly put himself out there on a silver platter to be made fun of. So basically Aaron Imholt from Steeltoe became, in my opinion, Melton's Stuttering John.
Absolutely.
And because of that, Nick Rekieta formed. Nick Rekieta basically says, "Oh, I like Melton. He's cool. He likes me. He thinks I'm cool." And he starts showing up in Melton's chat, and he's tweeting at everybody, you know, just instead of just kind of disappearing, licking his wounds, get back into the Watp-verse. No, he's head first into the Dabbleverse. Bad choice.
It's a terrible choice. Everything he's doing is the wrong choice.
Yep. Oh, and we got plenty of them. Now, here is the part I want us to focus on. I want the audience to focus on. Melton terrorized April for a year on his show.
Yeah, called her a coke whore, a whore, that fucking puppet. Called her a dirty skank whore and all that shit.
But Melton made an art of it. I mean, Melton knew to get to Aaron, he'd have to make fun of April, and he just relentless. I mean, he would zoom in on her imperfections as a woman, size of her breast, her forehead, all these things, and he just literally, his goal was to make her so nuts she had to get off the air, which eventually happened.
Yeah, I mean, it's 1000% incel fucking behavior with women. They're all a bunch of women-hating, small dick guys that had to sit and cut this poor little 26-year-old woman down who's just trying to have some fun doing a morning show with her husband.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, but once again, there's so much blame to go around, and it starts with Aaron, and we already covered that. We already covered how he brought her to the den. Like I said before, Melton sees Rekeita in his chat, his eyes light up, and he starts what I would consider grooming Nick Rekieta. Online and off, starts slipping in his DMs, they become text buddies. Meanwhile, Melton's going on his show, dropping hints that him and Nick are cool. He's getting some inside secrets into Aaron and things that no one's heard about, and which leads into him dropping this bomb. Are you ready for it?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
What I said that I hoped I would be able to share with you at Hackamania.
This is sad.
Implying that I have some evidence about Aaron and his cum eating.
This literally sounds like a 10-year-old kid finding out that one of his buddies got laid.
Everyone involved in this is just absolutely degenerate, pitiful losers.
Let me tell you what's going through Melton's brain right now.
Okay.
As he sees Rekeita on there, he goes, "Ooh, LawTube, millions. Oh, LawTube, if I could just scrape 10% of these LawTube people over to here, oh, man, I'll be able to make at least $1,800 a month." He's excited. His income's going to go up $200. He's going to sell 19 more. We're going to get him there. We are going to sell this place out. And, well, continue.
So I'm happy to announce we're good. We're golden. At Hackamania, we have something for you that is going to be unfucking real. It's everything that I wanted to bring to you and more. And it seems like even more keeps coming.
Wink, wink. We're going to talk about Rekeita's come. I can't wait.
So he just basically announced, I got him. I got Nick. I officially grew Nick. I fooled him. He's on board. And I got some that we're going to drop at guess where? Hackamania. Okay. Nick is fooled by this shit.
What we are going to drop at Hackamania. It seems like Rekeita is confirmed and coming. Holy shit. Try to deny you ate cum after you seen what I seen. Okay? That's all I'm going to say. We're getting the charcuterie fridge. That's going to be fun. We're having Nick in person to tell stories. We're having Paul Shea in person to tell stories.
Oh, for Christ's sakes.
This is what we arrived to.
It's not just him, by the way. It was a bunch of guys online that were saying this before him. They made it sound like, Aaron's bisexual. He's eating cum. He's bisexual. That's what I thought. After hearing what Melton had to say, he's eating cum. Eating cum. I don't know. Continue.
All right. So that leads us to Hackamania. We fast forward to this was billed as the creme de la creme of this Hackamania event. People flew to Las Vegas to basically have this evidence of Aaron, ironclad evidence of Aaron that's going to prove Aaron is a cuck, but not, which we all know, but that Aaron willingly ingested Nick's semen. Okay.
Yeah.
And Nick is going along with this. So this bizarre world we're living in right here is there's, anywhere from 50, 60 people in this thing. Okay. This event. This is the final. This is what people paid for. I mean, they paid for other things, but this was it. This was like this was the main event. Okay. This is it.
11 months of buildup, rumors, innuendos, fat guy in Canada screaming about it, eating cum.
Before I cut this out, but leading up to this stage, as Nick's coming up to the stage, these guys right here, Melton, Tukey, Moody, and Karl, which I'm going to give Tukey a pass. For the most part, he don't give a fuck. But these other three are my three cucks. These are Nick's three cucks. Okay?
Yes, they are cucking hard for this guy.
Yeah, they want to suck his $1 million super chat dick. That's why they sided with Nick Rekieta over Aaron, and that's exactly what they did.
When I looked at some of the footage you sent me earlier and was just watching just the look in those men's eyes. It's literally like they were looking at the prom queen and like, I wish I could have a piece of her.
It's
I
wild.
need her. They like the genuine the lust and love for this man, because in the back of their minds they're gonna scrape off some of his listeners over their way. They don't care what he has to say, or they don't care about him. They care about his audience.
Exactly. They are no different than the guy they are here to make fun of, who did the same thing.
Literally, Nick Rekieta is the guy that fucked a girl, like in high school. And then the girl went around and told everybody that he doesn't know how to fuck and has a small dick. And you guys are going to go, nope, I'm nice dick. I'm really good at sex. Look at the evidence. She said on a text, I'm good at sex.
Jumping ahead.
Sorry.
All right. So here's the moment. And look at all the smiles on their faces. Let's go.
Yay! You're creaming in their pants.
So here's the first text. And I want everyone to keep in mind, because there are some people who are seeing this saga for the first time as they watch this video. Mostly everyone who are watching this video knows about it, okay?
Yeah, this is what happens when a bunch of incels finds out that a man had sex.
This is a private text between Nick Rekieta and April Anderson, the 26-year-old that, in my opinion, he groomed to be his side piece in a throuple, okay? Which got hooked on drugs, which he will admit to coming up. This is Nick sharing this person that he loves, which we will hear him say. Before I even get in, just read this first text. Do you think April, a year later, is cool with this? Going to this guy's event that terrorized her for a year, and to display these texts to a group that are all laughing at it. Go ahead.
The only buddy that should be in this position of goofing on people is April.
Exactly.
She's the victim in this. She's the one that has taken more hits than any of these guys. And, these guys, this Rekeita guy with his ego. All right, keep it going there, buddy.
Narcissistic shit right here. Look, you think if April was in this arena, whatever the fuck this club, you think she'd be up there laughing like this?
No.
Fuck no. This is embarrassing. This to me is verbal revenge porn. This isn't pictures, but these are words between two people, right?
If I'm sitting at home and my new girlfriend is being clowned on the internet by a guy who groomed her, gave her drugs, she didn't buy the drugs. Groomed this nice little young lady who likes to have likes a little heavy metal, likes a tattoo or two, or but it never got crazy like they did. Brings them over, gives them drugs, has sex with her, basically imprisoners in another house. But we got to go up. We got to save face. Got to show her text to me to show how cool a guy, how good of a lover I am.
Go ahead.
You got a girl hooked on drugs, and you have a girl that have nowhere to live, no income, and you're bragging about. Of course, she's going to say you're good in bed. What else is she going to say? You suck. She needed a place to live.
Look at the smile on Nick. He's looking away, laughing.
See, in Nick's mind, he's coming out. He's like the guy in the locker room that told all the boys that he got laid.
This locker room is streamed to the world live.
And I got another comment about a joke that I made about, 80% of the guys there with their wives. I'm saying, so you're telling me your wife sat there and thought this was entertaining?
If I would have told my wife, hey, I'm going to Las Vegas for the weekend, and then she'd say, oh yeah, what are you gonna go? Where are you going? Oh, I'm going to see some podcasts by that Dabbleverse, Hackverse thing you hear me talking about on occasion. Oh, okay. So what are they gonna do? Well, they're gonna do their podcast on the stage. Oh, okay, that's cool. And then they're going to invite this guy, Nick Rekieta, who's sort of like the belle of the ball. And he's going to come on and he's going to show all the text between him and this other podcaster's wife that he stole. And they're going to look at all the text and look at evidence that this one guy ate this other guy's cum.
Yep.
What do you think my wife would say?
I think she'd say, if you're into that, I think I need to find a new husband.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Well, you're going to spend our money that we could spend on our children's educations to fly to Las Vegas to watch another man brag about another man eating his cum.
I know, but you don't understand, honey. This is Aaron Imholt. We have been fighting for this for a year, and it's coming to fruition. We're gonna find out, honey. Nick Rekieta is gonna show us the proof. I can't miss this.
You got to tell your wife babe, if I go out there and I could have a good showing, I might reach 1,000 subscribers. Come on, babe, I gotta go.
Yeah, it's not working. I mean, this we're joking, but this is serious.
No, it is serious.
We're looking at this shit right here on the screen. This is not AI. This is really happening. This happened in the last month.
Guys' wives, wait with them.
In the last month. All right, let's listen.
By the way, Aaron blocked me on YouTube after I super chatted.
So at this point, Melton's reading because they didn't have the AI voices, but we'll get into that.
That he looked into your eyes as he licked it, and that he smiled. Now,
that was a good super chat, to be honest.
What is wrong with? Well, by the way, what is up with the audience? What is there? 5 people in there? Oh, you're horrified. Come on.
I don't know. So
literally, there's people in this world that drug their wives to this, saw this, and went, oh. Okay, all right.
So she's basically telling Nick in a text that this is on their honeymoon phase. This is when Aaron was out of the polycule, and it was the 3 of them: Nick's wife, and April. This was when they were in their 3 honeymoon phase, and she's basically saying, "Hey, I'm trolling Aaron on the Steeltoe morning show," and I super chatted him this basically. She's just harassing him. You know, she's sucking Nick's dick. And so Aaron blocked her. So this is G-rated. This is just getting started. But this would be enough for me. Like, I would be upset if I was April and I saw this. But here we go. But fuck April, right? Fuck April.
Yeah, I mean.
But no, I'm not saying fuck April. I'm saying that's what all these 3 cucks are saying. They don't give a shit about anybody else but Nick's $1 million super chat dick.
Well, yeah, the 3 cucks are looking at the cuck master going, yes, master, share more, please. More.
Yes. And the irony here, because there's going to be a lot of ironies, Johnny. The irony is the name of this show is My Little Piggy, a show that was developed, named after Aaron. It's a dig at Aaron, because it's like their Uncle Rico show about Aaron is called This Little Piggy because he begs for money, right? It's all about money. And here we are.
Yeah.
It's not even crossing Nick's mind right here. He's so look at him beaming, reading that on the screen, laughing.
Aaron blocked me on YouTube after I super chatted him that he looked into your eyes as he licked it, and that he smiled. Now,
that was a good super chat, to be honest.
That was a good super chat, to be honest.
Great. Oh my God, she's hilarious. Trolling her ex-husband. Boy, that never happened. Oh, Jesus Christ.
Here's April's private, personal thoughts between her and another person displayed to everyone here. And this is not even bad, but this is still personal stuff.
This had nothing to do with that last text, but we're just going in order of the screenshot.
I'm glad there's one other human out there besides me that values.
So now they duplicate April's voice in this AI, so it sounds like April is reading her own texts. I'm sure she's fine with that. I'm sure she's okay with that.
By the way, they just signed a new law into effect that would basically put those guys in jail for doing that. So,
well, we'll see.
We'll see.
So that's another subject. Let's stick to this.
Humanity and treats people like I do. People.
I just wanted to show that. Now we got the AI voice going. It's as far as I'm concerned, it exploits April even further. And you mentioned earlier that like she has a boyfriend now, and how you would Nick, like how you would feel about Nick, a guy who groomed her and all this stuff. If I was that guy and I saw Nick, say, at a red light or something, you know what I'd do? I'd probably flip him off.
Yeah, I've heard that's happened.
Foreshadowing. All right.
All right, keep going.
I'm smiling a broad smile. I can still see my sexy body splayed out on your bed, my chest covered in your cum, going down between my pretty tits. I can see him climb on top of me, not to fuck me, but to lick me clean. Maybe I wanted to save that for later. But you taste like heaven. I couldn't blame him.
Oh, no! 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 No!
What the hell? Holy shit! What is? Oh my god! It's the boys' locker room.
I need to watch that again.
It's the boys. It's the quarterback comes in and says, "Yeah, I banged her," and everybody's screaming. There's literally guys falling off of their chairs. Dude.
The only person that's getting fucked here is April.
What? I mean, this is like, I can't even explain how sad this is.
April is the only person getting fucked in this situation. Look at the glee.
Do you, I don't know, you're a married guy, but you weren't married your whole life. I'm sure you've texted some dirty talk with a lover in the past, right?
Yes.
Was everything that you put on there, was it real? No. She's building up her boyfriend's ego by saying, "Oh, your cum is so great. My husband had to lick it off." That didn't happen. She's doing sexy talk with a boyfriend. And by the way, people that release this shit of ex-girlfriends to make them look better, lowest forms of life on the planet. Lowest forms of life.
Yeah, I mean, define porn. Okay, define porn. We often think revenge porn photographs. This, I might be trying to make it a stretch that this is revenge porn, but it reads like porn. It's between two consenting adults that then was shared. And look at the glee. This is insane.
The glee, the whole room exploded with glee over this. This is the most pathetic, saddest thing I've ever seen in my life.
Every screen, I could just stop it like they do, like WATP, like WATP does, like Melton does. You just pause it. Look at this. Nick looks like he just unveiled his masterpiece. He is so proud. His eyes are fixated on the screen.
Yeah, a whole group, a whole room of people you're standing there and go, "Yeah, I came all over this guy's wife." And it's basically because nobody else in the audience apparently has ever gotten laid. It's like the insult fest. They're like, "Wow." I've seen less reaction to a hockey goal in the NHL.
Crazy. I had to read this text a few times because this is the evidence. This is it. There's going to be some other texts, but this is their quote unquote evidence, their proof. She says, and there's two ways you can go. There's a couple of different ways you can go with it. You went with the way that, hey, this is her just pumping up his ego. They're sexting. This could be all bullshit, and I kind of agree. It could be real, it could be fake. Not fake. It could be. We're gonna go into the credibility of April. I don't want to fuck April over like everyone's doing, but we have to look into her credibility. And when Kiki comes into play, then we have a credibility issue with April because she was telling two people two different things. And that's where things get very interesting. So when I read this, I can still see my sexy body splayed out on your bed, my chest covered in your cum. Okay. going down between my pretty. Okay, so she's basically having a flashback. All right, so we'll just take her at her word. This happened. I can see him climb on top of me. So this to me could shift to, I could see him doing this because he's expressed to me he seems to be a cuck. Or he literally did come in and see this. But it's debatable in my opinion, the way it reads. Not to fuck me, but to lick me clean. In other words, to lick your cum off my tits. And then she makes a joke. Maybe I wanted to save that for later because you taste so good. To me, this is all just creative sexting.
I don't think that she sent this.
There could be that too.
Now, it looks to me like Nick went in and did that because you can do it. I've done it in the past to troll people. I can make fake text messages in 10 minutes with AI. This just does not sound like the writings of a woman. This sounds like something that Nick wrote himself.
Would even be more sinister. Either way, it's sinister as hell for him to put it on her like this.
Because
I'm going to take it for. Go ahead.
Realistically, Minnesota is only a one-party state, and he knows better. If this was actual stuff that she sent to him, he knows he would go get in trouble for it. I'm pretty sure all of this shit is fake. I'm going to be like Carl. Not real. It's all fake. He's over here. He's over there. That is not the writings of a woman. And I went through and I read all of her other texts to all of her other friends, and compared it to, she doesn't. That's not the way she. That's just not her.
Very well.
I'm telling you right now. I think the whole thing is made up to begin with.
Very well could be.
Which is even worse.
Yeah. Maybe either way, it's bad. It's really bad on Nick. And I'm just going to say, I believe he has texts from April, and these were from, it doesn't matter if I believe it or not, but, what was I going to say? Hold on. These guys will not question Nick. They won't question the if this was anyone else, Melton would study it with a fine-tooth comb and find out all the reasons it could be fake, it could be not real. But this is all just taken as fact. None of them questioned the fact that maybe this could be fake because they painted themselves in the corner. They are in Nick's cuck chairs, and they have to cuck for Nick, which is why we're calling this episode My Three Cucks.
Yeah, and the cucks are cucking for clicks.
Melton, Moody, and Karl are Nick's cucks. They're in Nick's cuck chair right now.
Yeah, absolutely. Hoping that they'll get a piece.
And the only person, and this is another reason I give Tukey a slight pass here, is because Tukey asks the question. You ready for it?
Mm-hmm.
Ask a question?
Yes.
Does April know that you're sharing these texts, or do you?
April gave me permission to share this story a long time ago.
Thank you, April. Thank you, April.
Do you want to hear that again? Because this is everything from here on out is
it's hearsay.
Everything from here on out is from Kiki. Everything. What Nick says right here.
Ask a question?
Yes.
Does April know that you're sharing these texts?
Does April know that you are sharing these texts? A very specific question. Did you hear that, sir?
Yep, I did.
Listen to the answer and tell me if the answer matches the question. Are you ready, sir?
Mm-hmm.
Gave me permission to share this story a long time ago.
April gave me permission to share this story a long time ago. Is that an answer?
Yeah, yes, but she did not give permission to share the texts.
Very different. Very different.
Sharing a story versus sharing actual text messages is two different things.
So what he could have said was, yes, I talked to April. I told her I was going to show these texts and we're going to read them. He did not say that.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure a 26-year-old lady that's in a new relationship wants to have her personal text information, shared in a group full of men and their loving wives to watch, to be ridiculed.
You sound like Kiki, but Kiki's a dumb cunt. So are you a dumb cunt too? Because you're basically saying what we're about to see Kiki say.
Well, yeah, I don't have any numbers, so I don't count.
But seriously, moving forward, this is the crux of everything moving forward. Did April give you permission to show these texts? Because showing these texts are different from telling a story. I could say, here's a story, Johnny. Aaron's a cuck because April told me he gets turned on when she talks about when we had sex. That's a story. That's way different from what follows these texts, which are very explicit details from April about the sex that she had with Nick that had nothing to do with Aaron. So the entire argument from his entire answer is complete non-answer. He does not have permission to show these texts.
Yeah, she gave me permission to tell the story. Well, no, she didn't give permission to show the text.
Exactly.
And I think I just don't understand how a guy that's on newly probation is doing this. This is crazy.
Right?
And
that's it. You're right. It's crazy. Yeah, I want to watch that one more time, and now I want you to focus. This is like just a Pruder film. Now I want to focus. Now we know the question. We know his answer, which didn't specifically match the question. The question was share these texts, so watch their reaction to his answer. They immediately take it as he answered it. Watch.
Ask a question?
Yes.
Does April know that you're sharing these texts, or do you...
April gave me permission to share this story a long time ago.
Thank you, April! Thank you, April!
They whatever the cuck says, cuck master.
Dude, my mind is blown with that.
A whole room of people didn't even pay attention. You see, Nick is smarter than those idiots, but that's not saying much. There's a guy with a puppet on his hand that hasn't been washed in 3 years. There's a guy wearing a Hawaiian shirt. I don't know. I mean, you can, I guess, when you're being cucked, your cuck master can say no wrong.
This is gaslighting. This is gaslighting at its finest. They basically lied to our faces and they put on this performance like, yay, thank you, April.
Yeah.
I feel like I haven't been honest with you about something, and it's how fucking often he needed to ask me how your big cock felt pushing into me and how he bet it fit perfectly inside me, even though it was a stretch.
Do we find out about how often he asks or needs to know?
Yes, we
Yes!
Okay. I've been involved in a lot of swinging over the years with my wife. And you've heard the episodes. We've talked about it.
Yeah.
Not a liar.
It'll be in the description.
The first thing I've asked my wife every single time she's with another guy, because I am a guy and I need to know, how big was it? Does that make me a cuck?
No.
Because when she told me, oh my God, it was so small, it made you look like Ron Jeremy, I would feel I'd be on cloud 9 for the week. But then we went Saturday and she goes, oh, that guy was a jackhammer and I can't have sex with you a week because this thing's broken. I was broken. Just again, a guy there in the locker room telling all his boys he got laid. And I also got a big dick. At this point now, the three cucks realize their dicks aren't as big as his. And now he's even dominating even more.
Yeah.
He's got a bigger dick than all three of them put together. They're all sitting, look at him. You could see when they say he's got a big dick, you could see the look of disappointment, and especially Karl. It looked like he wanted to cry a little bit. Okay, go ahead.
Do we find out about how often he asks or needs to know?
Yes, we can.
Yay!
Okay. Yeah, I'm with you. Like, this is the type of sexy my wife and I would do together, or my wife would do to me to make me feel good about myself. It's just like what you're saying. It's no one talks like that. No one talks like your big cock stretched me and all. You know what I'm saying? Unless you're doing this, like this.
In front of your locker room, in front of all the guys. Look what I did.
But all that aside, the fact that you're sharing these, what we're gonna accept as intimate details that are on his phone from April, whether she meant it or not, that's debatable, which we'll get into. But that wasn't the graphic one. This is the graphic one. It gets worse. It just gets worse. Oh, wait, whoa. Okay, I cut it out. It was so graphic, I cut it out. But the next text is basically April talking about bloody sheets.
Yeah.
That she would bleed because Nick's penis was so big that she would bleed on the sheets. So there was some reference to bloody sheets.
Yeah, maybe backdoor action.
Whatever, but it's complete. None of this is appropriate to share. That is even more inappropriate to share. Those bloody sheets keep Aaron coming. CUMMING. He brought it up all the time, and we'd have to fuck as soon as he brought it up, according to April.
Okay.
Once again, just talking her guy up, talking her crush up.
But she's still talking about banging Aaron.
I know. Well, they were in a polycule, but
I know, but like Nick makes it out like he's such a magic man that once she had a taste of him, she never went back to old hubby. But no, she went right back to the husband.
And what do these guys get on Stuttering John for? The king of all this Dabbleverse stuff. For blabbing about his dates, about his personal life, about his family. What is this? So Nick's heralded for this, but Stuttering John's a piece of shit?
Stuttering John is the only celebrity that ever answered anybody's Twitter DMs. Pretty much. That's the biggest celebrity that they could get their hands on that would react to listen to him.
But I want to point out the fact that what they do is they point out everyone's hypocrisies, everyone's this, everyone's that. That's what Karl's a master of. That's what Melton's a master of. But here, Aaron is a piece of shit because he sent Gino a photo of Nick's wife that they were sent. So Aaron shared something that was between the four of them, was of an outsider. He's a piece of shit. He's revenge porn. He's this, he's that. What a piece of shit. Nick,
which, by the way, the photo that he shared was between mutual acquaintances and friends. These weren't strangers.
Yes. But he did share it with Gino. So my point is that here's Nick doing the same thing. And yet Nick's not a piece of shit.
Exactly. He showed a picture to one person, and he's the villain here. But this guy is in a live room full of people sharing intimate text messages that I'm pretty sure she never agreed to have this on a goddamn Hackamania stage.
Fuck no. And then for us to pick it up, and everyone's talking about this shit. It's worse, I think. Aaron sent it to Gino. Aaron didn't do a Steeltoe anniversary show live stream where he showed that picture, which is essentially what he's doing, what Nick's doing to April right here. But the gaslighting, it's like mass hypnosis gaslighting. And and I'm going to go into their defense mechanisms on this and how they combat what I'm saying right here, because they're going to try. And I'm going to call them out on it. We're going to call them out on it. But this is like mass gaslighting. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely it is.
This is fucking insane. This is this is bizarre world shit right here. This is embarrassing. The fact they you just screenshot this picture. he should be shamed out of the whatever verse this is. This should be a loss of all manhood, all credibility, all authenticity, everything. This and it gets worse.
How could it get worse?
It gets worse, much worse.
He had to give her the small business.
There's Nick thinks he's funny too. He had to give her the
small business.
So they were making jokes at Aaron's expense because Aaron supposedly has a smaller penis.
So if Aaron has a smaller penis, that makes him less of a man than him, right? Is that how that works?
Okay. This.
I'm just trying to get in the normals thinking.
We're trying here. We're trying, but that's all we can do. Let's see what's next.
He started to have trouble finishing with April as this relationship developed. So did she. And so, yay!
Did you see that?
Well, there was a woman that said something in the background.
Nobody laughed at Karl. Karl thought he just dropped a bomb. And let's watch that again. That is funny as shit.
He started to have trouble finishing with April as this relationship developed. So did she. And so, yay!
I don't know what she said. I
think she said, never mind.
I don't know, but it doesn't matter because watch Karl say what he thinks is gonna kill the room, and Nick looks at him and ignores him and goes back, and nobody laughs. Watch, this is great. You of all people should love this part right here. This would be one of your favorite parts.
As this relationship developed. So did she. And so, yay!
Huh, guys? Huh? Funny me.
It's like Chad. Please clap. Please clap.
He's the only one in the room laughing.
And he's looking around. He's like waiting for it. So that's Hackamania. All right. Sackamania is over.
Okay.
That was it. That was the big reveal.
39 paid. 39 tickets sold. 39.
So there it is.
For the record, 39 people paid to see this. The rest of them got in for free, thank God. Because if I paid to see this, I would go home and probably, want my money back.
Well, the way Melton's going to cope, and they all cope, it's like, look, everyone had a good time. They came. Anyone's going to have a good time in Vegas when you drink and whatever. So Hackamania wraps up. That was the big reveal. That was it. You saw it. It's totally embarrassing as far as I'm concerned. As far as it is, we've pointed it all out. Like, this is just crazy to me. This is a complete this is a breach of trust between two people, and April once again gets fucked by one of the two older men. Aaron or Nick. Nick is fucking her bad right here.
Now, ladies, I think you should all have learned the lesson by now. Don't fuck radio guys. We're bad news.
That's true.
We're all bad news. I've seen the shit my wife went through.
Yeah.
It was nothing compared to what April went through.
No, it was pretty bad. So it wraps up, and one of the people in the crowd, this guy Moody, which we're going to bring up in a second. This is Melton's gimp. Okay, this is Melton's gimp.
No, this is the guy with the fake beard and hair.
I don't think it's fake. He is just Melton's bitch boy, okay?
No, I mean, this is like, it's just for men, number 47.
Maybe. I don't know. He's from fucking, he's Kiwi and from New Zealand or something. So whatever. It doesn't matter. The fact he's just a gimp. He should be in a leather mask and on a leash connected to Melton.
I'm getting very special needs vibes off of him.
He certainly looks that way, but okay. So, and then it's Karl's gimp, and his name is Adam Bush. He's basically Melton's Moody, and we're going to see him. And he was one of the men at this function here laughing in the crowd or whatever. He was there for this, He's got to support his man, Karl. So he's at this Hackamania. And
well, hold on a second.
Yeah.
Are you telling me is a guy from Buffy the fucking Vampire Slayer? Is that Hackamania?
Yes.
Well, what? Hold on.
How the mighty have fallen. He
Hold
now.
on.
Yes. We're about to see it.
A cherished Hollywood franchise, Buffy the Vampire Slayer actor, now
Yes. He is
listening
now
to the size of a man's member at a live event. Okay.
He is the gimp bitch boy for a guy with 25,000 subscribers on YouTube.
How does the guy from Buffy the Vampire Slayer not have his own show with 1 million subscribers? How is this? What's going on in this world?
Well, I don't know, but I'm just reporting the facts, and that's the fact.
The man is a vampire slayer. Now he's a Dabbleverse member.
Yes, and he works for Karl.
Talk about stuttering John's fall from grace. Holy shit!
He goes on special assignment. This Adam Bush character. He goes on special assignment to other shows on the Dabbleverse that are, guys that are probably on a lower spectrum of the Dabbleverse and of life. If you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, probably like Quadfather, probably Joey
Jake Hodson. So Adam will go on these shows and basically bring back awkward moments back to his master Karl and ATP so they can make fun of it. So Adam is like not even a double agent. He's an agent for WATP and Karl. This is his boss, as Baba Boo would say.
But what? I don't understand.
I can't explain it. It is what it is. Okay, it is what it is.
You can go back in my archives, and I talked about a story about a guy named Travis. I think.
Let's not bring that up. Let's not bring that up.
I'm just saying.
I don't want to go in there. I don't want to go there.
You guys can.
I really don't want to go there at all. But I know where you're going.
Why?
Yeah. I would like that. Maybe we could at Kushmania we can have Travis
read his text messages,
reveal all the texts. Yeah, tell all his stories and reveal all his texts. What do you think?
And nobody that's listening knows who's Travis or what Travis is.
I know, but someone does.
Nobody listens to me.
So one person does though. If he and I have a feeling he's gonna watch this.
I do too.
So here we go. Here's Adam Bush. Now Adam Bush is sleeping and cucking for one Nick Rekieta as well, because he's got a cuck for Karl, who then cucks for Melton. So this is all just one big cuck fest, okay?
Okay.
They're all sweeping for each other. So this Adam Bush, what I'm about to show you, is the most honest of them all, but he's still sleeping. He's not 100% honest. And tell me what you think it is.
And I'm a fan of Nick's, and I think he's intelligent.
I'm a fan of Nick's, and I think he's intelligent.
And I would love to be a friend of his, but he's not in a good place right now.
Why? Why? What about Nick's character that we have seen in chronological order? He is saying this after seeing that. So after everything I've just showed you, this is a guy you want to be Nick's friend. Okay.
Okay. One thing I'm going to give props on this guy for.
What?
Even though he's going on shitty streams, he's putting on full makeup. he literally is in full Hollywood makeup right now, which is crazy, right? To do a stream in boxes.
Listen to him sweeping for Nick, and then he stabs Nick. All right, well. It's so fucking great. Listen to these guys sweep for Nick Rekieta, because even Adam Bush thinks Nick Rekieta has $1 million super chat dick. So here he goes.
And I would love to be a friend of his, but he's not in a good place right now, and he is in a downward spiral. And at a time when he needs to be not thinking about his ex, we invited him to come and just relish in all of his worst instincts. It's like, a heroin addict going to a heroin convention. It's like, this is just not what he needs right now.
Yeah.
Did you fucking hear that shit?
Yeah.
He just said, we know this is bad for him. We don't give a fuck. We snaked his ass. And we did it on purpose to relish in it. It was like we took a guy that needed heroin and we brought him to the heroin den.
Yeah.
It's almost an admission right here.
I see this guy. I the way he talks. Oh, I can't.
Oh, it's so bad. Listen to this sly fucker, what he's saying right here.
I deal with when I was in Hollywood, when I was writing, I dealt with guys like this all the time. You see how he stalls as he's trying to come up with a
Yes.
non-answer all the time. This guy
Yes.
does not make. Well, I would be his friend if he wasn't doing this. It's probably not good for him, but I was sitting there laughing with the rest of them.
Bingo. Bingo. Yes, that's it. I thought that was so important to see. Yes. Let's see if I have anything else from him.
What a weasel.
Yes. This right here is everything. At Nick's court sentencing, the judge says, after he sentences Nick to what you said earlier, do you have anything you want to say to the court, Nick Rekieta? And you know what most defendants do at that point?
They apologize.
They apologize, or they say nothing.
Yeah, nothing is usually the best answer.
Exactly. Not Nick. Just like this was a terrible decision to go to Hackamania and reveal all this stuff, this explicit stuff that your kids are going to see on YouTube. At one day, they'll see it. Laughing it up with all these guys. This man, Nick, has a wife, the mother of his children, and he's got daughters.
Mm-hmm.
Think about that. I wish I would have said that before. When you see this man on stage laughing with these guys, this is a father and a husband.
No. What, you got kids. What if they went to school? And everybody in their classroom watched their dad talk about banging some other guy's mom while your mom's getting banged and doing drugs. And you got to go to school and pretend everything's cool. Like it doesn't exist. Why would you do this to your kids?
Because he's a piece of shit. And Aaron's a piece of shit. He's a sad excuse for a man. He's lucky his daddy was rich. That's what he is lucky. He's lucky his daddy was rich, because not everyone could fuck up over and over again and have an advantage to not even have to pay a mortgage, to be gifted a house and to fuck it all up. I guarantee you, Nick, that your dad, he is ashamed of you.
The whole community is ashamed of him.
Lady Racket's father is ashamed of. He wishes his daughter never met you. Your kids, when you're gone, are going to be talking about these moments and about this dark time for them. You don't think this is a dark time. This is going to follow you for the rest of your fucking life. So laugh it up with Karl and Melton, because your kids and your legacy and everything they're not going to be laughing at it.
I could understand if they had an arena full of people, maybe $50,000 to $100,000 payday to go and do that. He did it for free.
Yeah.
You humiliated yourself, your family, your kids for free.
Yeah. Keep it in the locker room. That's where things need to stay, not on a live stream and to people paying tickets in an auditorium. It's fucking unbelievable. And
when you're in a locker room, when you're 12 years old and you're doing this is awesome. When you're a guy like me that doesn't have a wife or kids, I can do stuff like this because it doesn't affect anybody but me. But when you did it, it affected so many people, the whole community.
It just shows you what a piece of shit he is. And
not to mention bringing in bad people into a very small Minnesota community that's not equipped to deal with them kind of drugs. It's just all bad. And why you would go on and do this for no money is mind-boggling. Just to feed your own ego. What a sad man. What a psycho.
And here's the proof, and why I brought. You would think at this point, because once again, we're doing this in chronological order. He's already been sentenced. He's already been through all this stuff. You would think that he would learn. And instead of shutting his mouth, he decided to speak to the court. And what he said was so unfucking believable. I meant to have it up, and I'll read it here and I'll insert it. But basically, he says He says, my whole life, everyone told me how smart I was, and I started to believe it, and I started to make all these dumb decisions. And essentially, it was an apology, but that it always he couldn't just apologize. He had to make an excuse that everyone, sort of built me up to make me think that I'm smart or whatever, or something along those lines. You know what I'm getting at?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. And that is the problem. And what was Hackmania? It was the same thing. He went to a place where everyone would build him up and tell him he's smart when when they are using him like snakes to do it. Adam Bush just admitted it. This was not something he should have done.
No, it's not. It's like, bringing Sabu out and the guy dies 2 days later because he's in no condition to wrestle. But you're like, nope, we're going to bring him out. They knew.
That's how they groomed Nick, because it's obvious Nick needs the attention. It's obvious.
I mean, let me call you up and like, you know what? I want you to come out to this festival. We'll put you up. And I want you to come on stage and everybody's going to find out how big your penis is and how good of a lover you are and how much better you are than that Aaron guy.
He wrote the content. He brought the content to Hackmania. He was the content for the main event.
It's appealing to be the main event of anything.
But that's his problem. He said it in court. He surrounds himself, or his dad's money allowed him to be in a place where people listen to him because he had money. And it's the same pattern over and over again. He's got this inflated self-ego, this false sense of self, this delusion. And all these people are feeding into that delusion so they could snake him in the back, which they did. And here is proof of it. What he said in court is exactly what Adam Bush is about to say right here. You ready?
Yep.
The show's been over for 8 hours, and he's at the bar still showing the text.
He's talking about Nick Rekieta after this at Hackmania, after that big reveal.
At the bar.
Let me go back a little bit.
I would love to be a friend of his, but he's not in a good place right now. And he is in a downward spiral. And at a time when he needs to be not thinking about his ex, we invited him to come and just relish in all of his worst instincts. It's like, a heroin addict going to a heroin.
Taking responsibility, saying we, meaning me, Karl, Melton, Moody. He's admitting it right here. This is fascinating.
And at a time when he needs to be not thinking about his ex, we invited him to come and just relish in all of his worst instincts. It's like, a heroin addict going to a heroin convention. It's like, this is just not what he needs right now.
But you fucking slimy bastard, you did it anyway because you wanted those $1 million super chats. All right, let's go. Here we go.
It's at 3 o'clock in the morning. The show's been over for 8 hours, and he's at the bar still showing the texts and rambling and talking to anyone that will listen, which was me. I was willing to listen. And there was one dabbler there watching us
Thoughts?
Oh my God, he's Al Bundy. He's Al Bundy bragging about his 4 touchdowns to anybody that will listen.
Yes, it's sad that Adam just dropped some truth here. This is a sad, lonely dork man who needs this supply and will talk to anyone that will listen to him. And Adam knows this.
Yeah.
And he blew up their spot. He just blew up their spot.
And what was Mr. Probation drinking at the bar?
I'm sure they'll snake him. I'm sure I'm sure that will be revealed when they're done with him. But they're not done with him yet.
Yeah, because they will turn on him. They turn on everybody.
My thought was Melton was going to turn on him. It was just a matter of when. And
yeah,
we're going to that. Let's see what I got next. Okay. Speaking of snakes. So here is Nick back after Hackmania. This is him wrapping up things. And then Moody somehow lets out somewhere that Nick Rekieta saw April in January. Haven't seen her while they had to break up, whatever. And at a stoplight in Minnesota with her new boyfriend. Now, Aaron from Steeltoe has been dropping hints that April has moved on. She's got away from this disgusting human being we're looking at right here, who groomed her into drugs, and we will see him admit that later. April, per Aaron, has moved on. She's got a new boyfriend. She seems to be putting this behind her, which is great. That's what she needs to do. One thing she doesn't need is these assholes a couple of weeks ago in Vegas live streaming all of her private texts when she's in a new relationship. So Moody basically was one of those people listening to Nick at 3 o'clock in the morning, because Nick will talk to anyone, and Nick tells Moody that story that I saw April with a new boyfriend, and when they saw me, he flipped me off at the stoplight. So he sees Nick, and basically he's saying, that's the motherfucker who did all this shit to you? Fuck you. Listen to how Nick interpreted that. Are you ready?
Yep.
Are you ready for this? This is fucking amazing. Here we got Nick in his home studio where the infamous Rekeita bro fucked up. When he got fucking Rekeita, he basically masturbated on screen or got blown on screen. I don't know, but it was crazy. It sparked everything. So here he is after Hackamania, and he admits that Moody is the type that gets information from him, runs back to his master Melton, blabs on Melton's show, and now Nick is realizing this happened, and he's got to now address something that he didn't want to address, which is the fact that he saw April with her new boyfriend, which Aaron was saying for a while. April's got a new boyfriend, she's doing good, she's wanting to put this behind her. Aaron doesn't talk to her about her very much, but this fucker still does, obviously, based on what we have seen so far. And so we kind of know that. So here's a story that Moody is forcing him to tell. The fact that all right, I'll just play it.
Moody shared a story that I told him in the Discord,
and watch how awkward and unfunny he is. He thinks he's funny.
Now he has snaked me. That little snake, he's not shaped like a snake.
Okay. Whatever.
Come on, dude.
What this is some stunning girl shit. This is like he's acting like a child right here.
There's nothing worse either than dropping a joke and just having pure silence from everybody in the room.
But there's no one in the room. He's an audience of one, and he thinks he's hilarious. Watch this.
He told this story. The last time I saw April was at an intersection in town. Trying to think when that was. I believe it was in March sometime.
Okay, March. Who cares? It was in March. So this was before he went to Hackamania, a few weeks before Hackamania, where he really fucking fucked her over good. So he should know at this point that I am not held in high esteem, and because her boyfriend is protecting her by showing her that I'm going to flip him off. So clearly he's got word that this guy is a bad piece of shit guy, and he fucked me up and got me hooked on drugs, which Nick's going to say. And fuck this dude. And April sat in the passenger seat and watched her new man flip off this dork. And he's about to tell you about it. And listen to how he tells you about it. Listen to the smugness, the braggadociousness. He thinks he's funny, and he's not.
She was with her boyfriend, and he flipped me off, which... Okay, like, I guess. That didn't do anything to him. I'll come snuggle him.
I'll come snuggle him. Yeah,
that's what we want.
What are you, a 14-year-old girl? What the fuck was that? I didn't do anything to him. No, you hooked a girl that he loves on drugs about 6 months ago. Okay?
And told everybody about it.
Exactly.
Leading to be arrested.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what you did. That's what you did.
What a weirdo.
What a weirdo. He why would anyone want to flip me off? What did I ever do? With this whole show, we've been showing you what he's done the last 5 months, 6 months. and it's one bad thing after another to the ultimate betrayal, Hackamania. But this is after Hackamania, he still doesn't understand. Like, what did I, why, oh, what the fuck? What did I ever do? And then he tries to make a joke, which is him flexing that. Wow, watch this.
But then it apparently made me sad, which is true. Which is true. I don't know. Like, is that a bad thing?
Yeah, I mean.
Yeah, it is a bad thing. It is a bad thing what you did, Nick. That's the problem. You don't fucking realize it.
You sexually groomed the girl for the next guy. Thanks, buddy. Thanks for grooming him. Thanks for getting her ready for me.
Yeah, but he's smart enough to realize what you did, which means he's probably a good person if he flipped you off right there, but you won't see that either.
No.
And listen to the joke, because it's all a big joke.
I'll tell you one thing. If that was me in the car, I'd done a lot more than flip him off.
Yes.
But I'm crazy, so move along.
I probably would have, possibly. Now, here's what's funny. It's all a big joke. All this is a joke. All that legal stuff we read, what he's on the parole or whatever, not parole, but it's all a big joke. And this is his joke at the end of it. This is his big flex.
That guy's kind of terrified of me. I don't know why. It's not like I have a history of stealing April away from people.
Hilarious.
Please clap.
Yeah, boy, he's hilarious, this guy. He is a stud. He is like, I think his name should be Fonzie.
It's not like I have a history of stealing April away from men. Wait, let me reenact that. Let me watch that again, because that is fucking crazy.
That guy's kind of terrified of me. I don't know why. It's not like I have a history of stealing April away from people.
Yeah, the guy's kind of afraid of me. I don't know why. It's not like I have a history of stealing April away from people. What a fucking dork. What?
He's so cool.
Wow, that was hilarious. I hope it was all worth that joke, you fucking moron. Oh, fuck me, man. All right, so this all leads to the grand finale. Kenu Thompson, married to Gino Bisconti, two streamers in this verse. Married now, but at the time they had a friendship with April and Aaron. They did podcasts together, they visited each other. They seemed to have, based on what I saw, a genuine friendship and enjoyed each other's company.
Yeah, and nobody gained either way from either. There was nothing to gain for either party. They just genuinely liked each other.
I agree with that. Then it got polluted and poisoned when one Nick Rekieta entered the chat, so to speak. So in that friendship, as this started to happen, April was going to be, what do they call it? Something in Kiki's wedding to Gino. She was going to be a bridesmaid. Yes. Was it parasocial? Yes. Did they meet through podcasting? Yes. You and I have met through podcasting. I don't keep in touch with everyone I podcast with. You and I are a special exception. We are good friends. So they can be friends even though. So I'm not going to judge that. Long story short, just like I share intimate details of my life with you that we would never talk about on the air because we are friends. Kiki did that with April. They were friends and they shared things. That's who Kiki is. So Kiki has April's perspective, and she's kind of flip-flopped a little bit at first. April had Kiki's ear on all of them. On Aaron, she had said things about Nick. Kiki was getting phone calls and texts from April during all of this. And maybe there weren't a lot, maybe they were. But one thing's for sure, that you were going to see that she knows things. She's got things under her vest that she's kind of put out there that people beat the shit out of her for putting out certain things that April said on a podcast. Kiki would blabber just like they all do. They can't shut the fuck up. And Kiki's one of them. I'll give Kiki credit, though, for one thing. She's at least the funniest person and the best podcaster in her household. I'll give her that. Okay?
No, she's strong.
She's better than Gino fucking Visconti.
She's the only woman that's been able to defend herself in the Dabbleverse.
She can almost finish a sentence. Gino can't finish a thought or a sentence. She can at least do that. But anyway. So she ends up on this little piggy. Karl sends her the link. Now, Karl apparently is okay with Kiki, and that's how she got on here. So, good. She gets the links on... What's that?
They were so-called friends when they were part of the Kumia.
Yeah.
Grift.
Yeah. And Aaron wouldn't... Karl wouldn't say anything about Aaron for a long time, and he called a lot of shit for that because of just exactly what you're saying right now. Because at that point, Aaron was in the Kumia sort of corner too. So at that time, Karl wouldn't fuck over and snake Aaron, and now he will. So it just shows you what a phony he is. So here is Kiki confronting Nick because they both have had April's ear and are both saying different things on different channels. Kiki saying it on her own show. Kiki saying it on Steeltoe. Nick is saying it on his own show. Nick is saying it on NLO. Nobody likes onions. So you have two people that have interactions with April, but one of them we've seen just a little bit from Kiki. The other one we saw all those texts. So here it is. Here's the big confrontation. Here are the players.
That's the cucks. Look, everybody.
We got Nick Rekieta, and then we got his three cucks: Melton, Moody, and Karl, cucking up to their masters. $1 million super chat dick right here. Kiki comes on. Look, they're all looking at Kiki. Now, granted, she is talking, but their dog is in the fight for Nick. Everything they've done, they've built Nick up to be this credible person, this upstanding, fine citizen. Aaron is the piece of shit. Aaron is the whatever you want to call it,
He's the bad guy.
They've anointed, which we've gone through the evidence of what a piece of shit this guy is, what an unfunny piece of shit he is. We showed you his moral character. We showed you his loyalty. Yet they're cucked up to him. Here he is on their show. Look in the background, money. That is a slight at Aaron, yet they're sucking Nick Rekieta's dick right here for that money back there. But this is supposed to be a slight against Aaron. Their quote-unquote My Little Piggy. Here is the showdown. This is great, okay? This is great. So let's see what happens. Watch the facial expressions.
Oh, did you or did you not get into...
Perfect. I'm going to give Melton Crops right here. Get the peanut gallery out the room. Here it is. Here's the showdown. Here's the showdown that should have happened months ago. I've already set it up.
Did you or did you not get into a blame April for missing your drug test? And did she or did she not call me hyperventilating, crying?
Direct question. Clearly, she is referring to April. This is what April called and told me. Did this or did this not happen? Okay, let's watch that. I want to watch that question again and listen to the answer.
Did you or did you not get into a blame April for missing your drug test? And did she or did she not call me hyperventilating, crying?
Did I blame April for missing a drug test?
Yes.
No.
Did I blame April for missing a blood test? I'm going to go on and say he repeated the question because he's trying to think of it. He knows he's fucked right here.
Did I blame April for missing a drug test?
Yes.
No.
No. He answered no, but listen. Okay, I had to put a cut there. Then she says, from how she put it, this is what she told Kiki over the phone.
I didn't blame
You
April
said
for
to
missing
her,
a drug test.
from how she put it, you said to her, I've never heard somebody so upset in my entire life. Crying, hyperventilating, beside herself crying, saying, well, Kayla and I got into a fight about you, so we couldn't make it to our drug test.
Ooh, this is, look at the faces.
Mm-hmm.
This is their worst nightmare. This build up of Nick Rekieta is that these three cucks built up as they tore down Aaron for being the problem and all this. Here is April talking through another person, basically. You know how like victims will like Delphi, they got them on Snapchat. Like April is basically talking from the grave through Kiki.
Yeah, absolutely. It's crazy.
And this is the moment they know they fucked up. Nick knows I got to get, or I can't. Listen, let me just let it play out. Let me back up a little bit and let it play out.
So we couldn't make it to our drug test.
What do you want me to
think
say?
She made it up? You think she made it up?
What do you want me to say? Do you think, did April make that up? Because that's what April told me. Listen to this.
No, I don't think she made it up. I just didn't blame April for missing a drug test.
He just confirmed that, yes, April and my wife were fighting. That did happen. The only way Kiki knows that is if April told her. And Nick did miss the drug test, which came out because they were fighting. Watch.
Yeah. Yeah.
Watch this.
Okay, so you did miss the drug test.
Yeah, I missed the drug test.
Right. Did she or did she not text me and say that both you and Kayla are both emotionally... shall I read it? Since all of you like to do that, I will. Would you
have
like
an hour to prepare this backstage.
Love it.
Boom. Do you want me to read it since you guys basically did that at Hackmania since that seems to be the way it is? Let's all read April's texts.
Yeah, so let's, if you guys are all cool with it, let's go ahead.
Look at the confidence on Kiki. Look at her face. She's like, gotcha, bitch. Gotcha, bitch. Got all you bitches. And look at them. Look at Carl's face. Look at Nick. Nick looks like he saw a fucking ghost. Moody's like, oh shit. He is like, uh-oh. And Melton is jumping to cover for his what we gonna call Nick? His pay pig.
His pay pig. And Carl was literally biting his bottom lip off of his face.
This moment is fucking amazing. I'm gonna back it up a little bit and we're gonna relive it.
You and Kayla are both emotionally... shall I read it? Since all of you like to do that, I will. Would you
have
like
an hour to prepare this backstage.
It's going to be the first time you read texts from April.
Why?
Watch this.
Carl, listen to this little weasel. It's not the first time you've read text from April. So they're all giving Kiki a hard time for months because she shared a couple of details on the Steeltoe show. So she actually did a little bit of this, betraying April's trust, which she did by putting things out there. So They're basically giving her shit for doing that when they literally held an event of Nick doing that. Do you see what's going on here? It's not the first time you shared. That's beyond the point. So they do the straw man argument. They start jumping on what a piece of shit Kiki is for doing that, but not the fact that what she said was true. Look at the tactic.
Okay, so you did miss the drug test.
Yeah, I missed the drug test.
Right. Did she or did she not text me and say that both you and Kayla are both emotionally... shall I read it? Since all of you like to do that, I will.
Okay. This is where Nick, this is all crucial, and places that stop this is super crucial. As we know, this is where we all know they know they're fucked right now. This is where Nick unravels, because the only thing he cannot answer the question, and he knows she has him bent over a barrel.
Yep.
She is speaking for April through the grave, and he knows it. So now he's going to denigrate her. The whole narrative is going to shift here, and these three other cucks are going to jump in on the narrative. They Kiki's a piece of shit for doing what Nick did, which they praise. Remember? Yay! Thank you, April. Remember that?
Yay!
And Nick's going to call her a stupid bitch. Okay. Yeah. Tell me this guy might not have a problem with women. Watch his anger and watch his tone from here on out.
Why do you keep asking other people?
Also, wait, I just got here.
Also, wait.
Got here, you red-faced little bitch. I just got here. All right. All right. Great. I just got here. When did you get the permission from her to display the text messages at Hackamania?
Right.
You're not one to calling people out.
Don't deflect.
Listen to him sleeping for. It doesn't matter. You're not. That's not the issue. Whether she is or she isn't. She's got them. And the narrative is being broken because she has them. It doesn't matter.
We're not talking about what I've done. We're talking about quit deflecting. They're deflecting.
They're deflecting.
When did you get the permission from her?
That's a good fucking question. And that's the question that El Horrible should have followed up with at Hackamania. They didn't follow up. Nick said, and I'll play it the clip again. Nick said, she told me I could tell the story.
That's a good question.
Yes.
Does April know that you're sharing these texts, or do you?
April gave me permission to share this story a long time ago.
Thank you, April. Thank you, April.
Now Kiki is holding his. No one else has said this. No one at Hackamania, no one after this is Kiki asking a question that should have been answered when, because when is important. Was it in our honeymoon phase, or was it clearly? If you would ask her at the red light, you would have got flipped off and probably punched in the face, right?
Right, and every girlfriend ever went out that sent me naked pictures or did any of that. Ask me politely to erase them, and I do. That's just what being a real human gentleman is. But these guys are snakes.
Look, watch this.
When did you get the permission from her?
Here I am doing a podcast.
I thought you hadn't talked to her in January. Then you said March.
Now this is where Kiki fails. It doesn't matter when or where. The fact that Kiki's actually getting to is she's at a point in her life now, which this is fresh off of Hackamania where he did all this. She's and Kiki will do this. She will say, do you think now she wants these texts?
What are you talking
you're
about?
Wrong. You're
when did you get the permission? When did you get the
wrong? You're getting it wrong because you're not plugged into this again.
No.
She's not getting it wrong. Nick goes, what are you talking about? Melton's like, you're getting it wrong. No, she's simply asking a simple question that these guys are melting over. When did April give you permission that you could show those texts to anyone, much less a room full of people streamed on the internet where I talk about things like you're stretching my vagina? it's a legitimate question, and they're acting like, how dare you? I have to stop
Once
it.
her new boyfriend flips you off, that gives you permission to go ahead and share every text and picture and everything during an intimate relationship.
Daddy!
All right,
please,
so when did you get the permission? When did you get the
can't take
permission to
this.
show her text
I don't know. Maybe for months and months and months while he was dragging her name through the mud online.
When did you get the permission to
retard.
show her text messages at a festival of incels? Sorry, Patrick.
Literally.
Oh, you're
for
saying what
months
Aaron says.
and months.
You're saying what
and
Aaron
months.
says. That's fun.
Okay.
Look.
Oh, somebody hit a nerve, didn't they? Oh, yeah, that's what Aaron says. Incels, huh? It's true. Oh God, like not one of them has ever answered one question she's asked them.
No, and they're gonna gaslight and make it seem like she's the one not asking the right questions, or she's the one that's stupid, or she's the one that's not getting it. They are in unison gaslighting her and the audience.
So it paints a real picture of the whole situation, how it was really going. So they start swinging. She leaves Aaron. They get a divorce. She starts this so-called relationship with Nick. Well, in the meantime, the wife's not liking it.
Right.
They're constantly fighting over it. She's got her snuck off into the house next door. She only gets to come over when his wife's gone. And then when his wife finds out that he's banging her while she's gone, that's a fight. And April should have been gone way before this.
Yeah.
And now he's screaming at her because he's having problems because his wife doesn't want him having a girlfriend.
Exactly.
Come on, bro. This guy just is, you can tell he gaslighted the woman, gave her drugs, and now he's screaming at her because his wife doesn't approve of the relationship. Why
Yeah.
is that her fault?
Exactly.
And then, like she says, you come and show her personal text messages to the incel festival? What the hell?
Look at Nick. Look at the picture. He is so flustered right now. He's so furious because here, this dumb bitch, as he puts it, comes along and pisses on his party. He had all these guys thinking he was cool. He had all these guys sucking his $1 million super chat dick. And here she comes along. And he is like, how dare you ruin my moment? This picture to me looks like, look, okay, this is great. This is like a poker table. All of them have their own hands. Kiki is calling their bluffs. And Kiki just laid out a hand that basically says, y'all are fucked. And this is she's basically showing she's got cards. And look at, he's like, oh, fuck. He just saw our card. He is like, oh, shit. We're about to lose this whole pot. Moody, the gimp over here, is like squinting like, oh, my God. Like he sees her cards. Melton is almost like, fuck, she's got the cards. And Nick is the biggest one showing the most emotions. Like, fuck. Like he just threw all his chips down at her. Like, this is the moment. Look at this. If a picture can paint 1,000 words, look at this. It is great. All right, let's see what happens next.
Literally.
Oh, you're saying what Aaron says.
Months.
You're saying what Aaron says. That's fun.
I love it. It's great.
Yeah. You say what Aaron says. Well, yeah.
Oh, you're saying that's fine. That's fine. That's fine.
It still rings true. It doesn't matter who said it.
And why are you defending Melton's crappy festival that sold 39 tickets?
That Carl plugged on and on. Heck of me.
I mean, what does Melton have on Carl?
it's all this little, it's all a business thing. It's all this super tips. They all have, and this is why they're so phony. They all have investment in each other through this whole thing. Mainly the super chats. And Melton wants to get as many of these people on the super chat system or whatever his system is, super tips or whatever. So they're all in bed together is basically what it boils down to. They're all in bed together. And the more of these super tips or super chats or whatever they call it come through, the more money they all make. So there's ulterior motives in all of this. They're all in bed. Some of them are in bed together monetarily, and it goes against everything they do as far as with their shows, which is supposedly giving you honest feedback and criticism.
They lost it, man. They lost their edge, and now the clout boy isn't doing well. What are they going to do? I'm trying to change the subject. Oh, Aaron is such a big piece of crap. Whatever he says, right. I got you. I got it.
Through all this yelling, Nick's response to the question is he still doesn't have an answer. It's just like an assumption. Well, of course I can share these texts. I mean, well, when did you get the permission? When we were in a relationship together so he tries to make it seem like his relationship with April was more than Kiki and hers, that she only texted her a little bit. He saw her every day and slept with her. This is the direction he's trying to go here. Listen to it.
Oh my God, we
Not
talk
you,
every
Carl.
day, you moron. What is
So you
wrong
got
with
her-
you?
you got her permission-
Hackmania.
You got her permission to show her text messages on a large screen back in when? November?
Oh my God! Yeah, but that story, she told me
It's a weird
well
thing.
before
Why
well
won't you
before
let him answer
November.
it?
She told me that story before November. You retard. That being said, we were planning on telling that story from the moment she told it.
Until she has a new boyfriend, maybe you might want to get new permission.
That's what he has to say. We were planning on it. Yeah, you were planning on it when y'all were a couple.
Yeah, you didn't have permission to do that, a-hole. You didn't. And the cuck boys don't understand that.
They don't. And Carl's so upset. Carl is either doing the straw man argument thing or he's throwing these deflections out about the whole incel thing. Like he's trying to get everyone riled up. Look, she's calling us a bunch of incels. So he's trying to build his. They're all fighting Kiki here in different ways and different deflections and different insults and different things they latch onto what she says for Nick. They're sweeping for Nick, right?
Yeah, I know. I think you guys should tune in to my new show, MHH Network on Rumble, called "Who Are These Incels?" Well, we'll look into incels every week.
Yes.
These men have never been around a woman that has her own opinion, it looks like.
It's wild. And Nick just seems to get more and more. He shows a lot here. This is interesting. Whatever Kiki said, or Kiki has showed her cards, and now she's at a point where it's like a fighter when you know she is in Nick's head and she's watching Nick unravel, and it's perfect. Now, do I think she could have did a better job of saying the things that we're saying? Yes, but it doesn't matter because what she's doing here is she's noodling him, and he is unraveling for many different reasons. One of them, I would venture to say, he has a problem with women.
Oh, beyond a problem. How's the misogyny?
Look at his face right there. Anger. Anger.
And he's a guy that's used to yelling and screaming at women, trying to be the alpha.
How dare she? How dare this dumb bitch, as he put it.
I can see the amount of restraint in this. He knows he's on camera. If he wasn't on camera right now, he would be screaming so loud they'd call the police on him.
He looks like the kind of guy that probably screamed at April.
Yeah,
Look at him.
I mean, so he gaslights a woman and then makes her stay in a house with no internet. Like, let that sink in for a minute.
And you know why we know that? Because this dumb, stupid bitch, as Nick would say, told us that. She once again was speaking for April of the crimes that this man has committed.
So yeah, he was just basically keeping a vagina warm next door whenever he needed it. And if they didn't like it, he'd scream and yell at him. And then blame her for the problems he's having with his wife. Because he's never done anything wrong. Ever. Has he?
She just she has been exposing him, and now she confronted him and is exposing him again to his face, and look at him.
This is hurting my feelings.
There, I can.
Hey, Kiki, what's
I can only go over there. I can only go over there when Kayla leaves the house, and that's the only time he wants to hang out with me. When Kayla leaves, and then I can only go over there, and then he wants to bone me, and then I have to leave again. And
She just said what you said.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know.
No, but that just shows you. What you
Yeah.
just said is exactly what Kiki said before she said it. You've never seen this.
No, I just know the kind of guy. He's that kind of guy. He
And
thinks
she
he can.
verified that. He just comes over and fucks me when he wants. Oh, let's watch again.
when Kayla leaves the house, and that's the only time he wants to hang out with me. When Kayla leaves, and then I can only go over there, and then he wants to bone me, and then I have to leave again.
Yeah,
and then
we weren't on the best terms, you dummy.
Okay,
I
I'm
also
just
told her I wouldn't have
asking.
sex with her anymore, and I stopped. What the f- wrong with you?
You
talked
said
to her
I'm
in
just
October,
asking
you
about the
retard.
permission.
When was the last time you talked to her, Keanu?
Who cares?
Who cares when the last time is? It's the truth is that you literally ruined this woman's life.
And he's saying, what is wrong with you? The question, Nick, is what is wrong with you? And this video we're doing shows what a piece of shit you are. And you don't even see it.
Yeah, he's got a newly divorced woman, no income, nowhere to go. She can't go home to her family because it's embarrassing. That's the only option. So he knows it. He's got leverage. He's a guy that does leverage. He loves leverage. He loves to fuck people. It's basically his own little fuck puppet, and she had to do it. There's no other choice. And then all times he's feeding her drugs, allegedly.
Oh no, not allegedly. We're about to hear him say it. Let's get to it.
When was it?
When was the last time you
27th?
did?
When was it?
When was the last
January was the last time he did. When was the last time you did, Keanu?
October 27th, right?
October? No.
27th.
It was probably.
Whatever the date was, it doesn't nullify what she just said.
No.
Because April was holed away in a house being used like a sex slave and shut out of their threesome. So this is Nick's worst nightmare coming to fruition.
Yeah, this is all of a sudden Mr. Brilliant Guys decided that he could have his cake and eat it too. All of a sudden his cake is rotten.
So yes. So here's where things it just get Nick. Look at his face right here. Moody has this weird look of he doesn't know whether to laugh or cry. He knows this is it's uncomfortable. It's uncomfortable. My three cucks are uncomfortable right here.
Yeah, they have no idea how to talk to a woman.
They don't know how to act right here. They know this is not good. They know the person they backed, the horse they backed is melting down. It's making them all look foolish because they portrayed this thing that Nick is the one that's okay. So they're all like, oh man, it's just uncomfortable. And it's uncomfortable to watch a man call a woman a dumb bitch and a cunt at the top of his lungs.
Yeah.
All right, here we go.
That her
March!
boyfriend didn't
March
like.
at the traffic stop, you dumb bitch! You can't follow basic
When did you get the permission?
facts.
When did you
You're
get the
the
permission?
stupidest
When did you
person
get the
ever.
permission? When did you get the
He's
permission?
answered
When did you get
all
the
of these
permission?
questions and asked
He hasn't answered the question.
No.
And look, now they're starting to do like Moody's starting to do the squinting, like, is she just stupid? This is where they shift into gaslighting overdrive.
Mm-hmm.
The permission
This is what I'm
is
saying.
your
She's too
text.
dumb that even like she can't talk. She's dumb.
She's not. She's asking a perfectly legitimate question.
I'm asking a question. Why is that such a hard question to answer? Why is that such a hard question?
Picture the underside of the carton and sell it online, retard.
Why is that
Jesus
such a hard
Christ.
question to answer? Why?
Oh, they got cucked. All of them. They got beaten by a little lady. Came in and owned them.
Let's watch more on it.
Why is that such a hard question to answer?
No one needs the answer. The
Why
question is
not?
stupid because the
I
question's
need the
dumb.
answer.
You're just so
When
dumb
did
you
you
don't
get
realize it.
The question is dumb. Why is the question dumb? It's the most obvious question that any person with a half a brain wants to know that doesn't have any connection to this fucking moron Nick Rekieta. Did April say you could show those texts, not share the story, not show those personal, private texts?
And I think we figured out no is the answer.
In so many ways, no is the answer. Watch Nick melt down.
The
Dumb.
answer.
You're just so
When
dumb
did
you
get
don't realize
When
it.
did you get the
Yes.
permission? When did you get the permission?
I talk to this woman
When?
every single day.
He said from when the first time she told him. The first time she told him, he said that they had planned to tell her
So
to
don't you
Hackamania. He
think
got her permission.
He didn't say that. I've watched this video. Nick did not say that. Melton just made that up.
It's just crazy, right?
Melton finally answers in a specific way, but Melton answered the question, and Melton says, Nick answered. I watched this. He didn't. Let me watch Melton come in and try and sweep at the end here.
The first time she told him, he said that they had planned to tell her to Hackamania. He got her permission.
May have.
No, she didn't. Hackamania. Nick wasn't even going to Hackamania at that time. Why would Nick go to Hackamania? He was facing jail time. He's playing this Hackamania trick.
Yeah, I mean, he had to up until almost the last minute, he had to make sure he can go because of all that stuff.
So that's just a lie. That's just a straight up lie. That Melton just straight up made something up. Imagine that.
What's wrong with
No,
you?
I know you're all trying to defend your little
Get this
festival.
dumb.
No one's trying to defend
I told
me. They
Kiki I'd
don't
never
need
talk to her
You're a
loser
bowl of
ass again.
Cheerios.
Go other Kiki.
Fucking unthreatening because you're so goddamn
No,
stupid.
You're so upset. You're so red in the face. It's ridiculous.
I'm mad. I'm angry. You took someone I love and you shredded them to the world.
Right.
That
was crazy.
You took someone I love, like he's basically saying he's angry because Kiki hurt someone he loved, which was April. The only person that hurt April more than anyone else, maybe even more, I would even venture to say even more than Aaron, is Nick. The fact that even came out of his mouth shows you what a fucking delusional cocksucker he is. Maybe even more delusional than Aaron, which is the biggest thing Melton points out about Aaron, which is his delusion.
You know who Nick really reminds me of is David Lee Roth. No matter what happens to David Lee Roth, he's standing there with that smile and that little shiver in his thing. Nothing will ever shake that man's ego, ever. He is an alpha dumbass.
Alpha dork.
He thinks he's an alpha, but he's not street smart. That's what the problem is.
Yeah, and he's not street smart. He had his daddy as a safety net.
You know, he had a few subscribers. He thought people loved him, and he thought that everybody loved him. He could do whatever he wanted to any human being because he has money.
Yeah, it takes money to make money, and any one of us can get lucky at some moment in time and go viral. Much like they talk about Stuttering John, and speaking of hypocrisy police, Carl's whole rap on Stuttering John, which has nothing to do with Carl for the most part, is that John lucked into a job because Howard Stern warned him because he stuttered.
Yeah.
So, in other words, Nick, the reason anyone even knows who Nick is because Amber Heard shit in Johnny Depp's bed.
Yes.
Essentially is the only reason if Amber Heard and Johnny Depp wasn't degenerates, and we would have never heard of Nick Rekieta. That's the reason he was at the right place at the right time, talking about the right case. And on top of that, could do it full time and had a house paid for. And still needed a nanny to raise his kids because he's that much of a bitch and not a man. He can't even raise his own kids. His daddy essentially hired him a nanny to be the parents to be the father and man that he is not. Right, me.
I mean, this guy, even a little arrest, 2 days in jail, hasn't changed his mind. This guy, it's not going to end well for this guy. It's going to get worse. If I'm a lawyer, he can reapply for his law after his probation's over and get his license back. I don't think the licensed people are going to like seeing all of this being aired out in public.
No. And would you hire a lawyer? This guy is your lawyer? I mean, he didn't do so good for himself, first of all.
Imagine your life is in his hands. Literally, your life is in his hands. He's your lawyer, and you find out that he's swinging and doing drugs after giving him a $10,000 retainer.
He has no options. He's done. He's got no options. No one's gonna hire this fucking moron. Look at his decision making over the last couple of years.
All he had to do was shut it down for 6 months, shut the F up, go back to doing his regular thing. But no, he's got to tell everybody he's cool.
Yep.
He's Fonzie.
Bravo.
Of the law offices.
You're cool, man.
All right, Squidward. Thank you so much.
All right, let's see where this goes.
And
I
you
have a
told
right
her how
to
to
be
do
mad about
whippets.
that. You
Right.
said she was your friend and
No,
you did that to
you're full
her.
of shit. You're
Oh
full
my
of
God,
shit. I've
find a
never been
bridge
more
and hang
worried
yourself,
about
you
you.
dumb bitch.
Have another whippet. Have another whippet and call it a f***ing day.
Have
I'm glad
another
you-
whippet.
Look, like this is where it gets good. She takes a lowbrow dig at him, basically saying do it, because there is speculation that he's doing illegal things like you mentioned before, whippets being one of them.
Yeah.
There is some good videos out there where it's like this guy keeps going off camera, whatever. And when Kiki said that, it was like they were like, oh, how dare you stoop to that level? Watch their expression when she says that. Like, she's so overboard. This guy in the top left said some horrible things about Aaron's 10-year-old daughter.
Mm-hmm.
And he's all of a sudden, they're the moral police here.
Yeah.
Watch this.
Have another whippet. Have another whippet and call it a f***ing day.
Have
I'm glad
another
you-
whippet.
That's fine.
Kiki, jump.
Basically, they had to, even Patrick Melton had to bleep this out. He basically tells her to off herself.
Yeah.
And they had to bleep because that ain't
No,
gonna fly.
He's all he's got. He has no intelligence.
We'll get permission after the
When did you get permission?
No, I don't have permission.
Now they're asking her, well, when did you get permission to show April's sex?
We have to deflect.
Kiki admitted that's why we know some of this stuff. She did it. Kiki says, I didn't.
It's like, this is how it goes. It's like, Donald Trump did this. Well, Joe Biden did that.
Exactly.
And you're like, what does that have to do with the question I'm asking? They got to deflect because they have no answer.
Yeah.
Try to save their boy from getting thrown in jail for doing shit he's not supposed to do on probation.
And basically she's saying, I didn't and I don't want to, but you guys are forcing my hand to do it. But I'm not doing it, just like y'all shouldn't have done it in a Hackamania.
Mm-hmm.
So when she teases it, they jump on her like, oh, you piece of shit, how dare you? But when she don't, they're like, show us the text. What do you know?
Permission. That's why.
Then why are you saying
you
you'll
put
share
them
that?
on the screen.
You are a monster. Wait till you're about to hear who the true monster is. And Kiki gets him to say it. Watch.
Just wondering when you had the permission to share those.
Disgusting. So she's the disgusting one after all we've heard. Listen to this.
Last time, like around the time I even talked to her.
Story, the first time she told him that story, she said he could share it.
Yes.
He's answered.
She said you could share
Keep
your
asking the
tips.
question. No, he doesn't think you need to
She
update
doesn't
it.
want to be.
Neither
She
does
doesn't want
anybody
to
else.
be. She doesn't want to be like a part of this or online or whatever.
Did you find that out when you talked to her on October 27th?
Well, did you? You apparently.
Shut up, you
dumb
bitch.
Put
a bouncer in your mouth and not understand.
Hail. Look at Melton and listen to that fake laugh.
After October, right, idiot?
Sorry. You're wrong. You're wrong. She
wrong?
called me.
Oh,
She
January's
called
not
me.
after
I'm
October?
sorry that she
Oh
called
my
me
God.
and she said, Aaron and I. Sorry, I just.
This is this is like the scene in Law and Order SVU where Nick has been being grilled by the prosecutor, which is Kiki. And finally the defendant snaps and says, okay, I did it. You ready? You ready for it? Here it is.
I did,
Nick
of course.
taught me how to do nitrous, and
I
I
taught
was
her how to do
fucking
nitrous
worried
and
about
coke and
her.
Molly and ketamine.
Exactly, and she was still doing it. That's terrifying to me.
Well, I'm sorry.
Nick
changing the
and I are
argument.
just doing
She makes her
nitrous.
own choices. What is wrong with you?
Or that you,
skipping around a different argument.
or that you, she's calling me hyperventilating.
So he's proud of the gaslighting and the drug giving. He's proud of it. This guy thinks he's like Tommy Lee or something.
I'm going to put those words on the screen. I don't want to see it right again. He says, Kiki says, you taught her how to do whippets. And then he volunteers and says, I not only taught her to do whippets. This is everything Aaron has been saying about this dude. And everyone has been blaming Aaron. He literally says he taught her to do these things. Listen.
I taught her how to do nitrous and coke and Molly and ketamine.
I taught her how to do nitrous and coke and Molly and ketamine. April wasn't doing those things before she met this piece of shit.
No.
And look at him. And look at Carl's face. He's like, oh no. Moody's like, he don't know what to think. Melton's like, oh no. This was the breaking point. I want to put what he said on the screen right here. And then after it, he says, April made her own choices. Like, what do you want to blame me for? Did you catch that?
Yeah, it sounds like he's freaking P. Diddy, for Christ's sakes. Bringing women over, drugging them, and proud of it. Proud of drugging women.
Yes, and these guys are going along with it. Let's watch it one more time, because this is it. This is what I want. I want the sound bites to follow this asshole for the rest of his life.
Taught me how to do nitrous, and I
taught
was
her how to do
fucking
nitrous
worried
and
about
coke
her.
and Molly and ketamine.
Exactly, and she was still doing it. That's terrifying to me.
Well, I'm sorry.
Nick
changing the
and I are
argument.
just doing
She makes her
nitrous.
own choices. What is wrong with you?
You brought the choices to her. You're the reason. She had a choice. She didn't go out and buy the drugs. You did. Ugh, what a fucking piece of work this guy is.
And Melton says, you're changing the argument. Who are you to say where this argument you got? Melton, all my three cucks should have disappeared and let that. If Melton was a good broadcaster, he would have got the fuck off the screen and let this go as long as it went, and let whatever happen happen.
He can't, though, because it's his ego. He doesn't understand how to do good radio. He doesn't understand to let the people go.
He was also had to protect his cash cow.
They need him back. They need him back on the show. They need Rekeita back, and they can't have him attacked and made look like an idiot on his show, or else they're going to lose all of his fans.
They got to suck him dry some more. They're not done sucking him dry yet.
Nope.
That was a fucking amazing moment. The fact that Kiki got that soundbite right there, which I'm going to play a few times, of him listening to things he got her hooked on. Now you know why the boyfriend flipped him off. Right there.
Yeah.
Kiki got him to show his ass, and these three cucks show their ass for him. They just got exposed in this fucking fashion.
Yep.
And it's phenomenal. Thank you, Kiki.
Yeah, and the cucks are just watching, going, oh no, what now?
I wanted to throw this up again because I just said, what did the boyfriend say? Why did the boyfriend flip her off? It all relates back to that quote, I am not an addict. Someone else did this to me. Bam.
Mm-hmm. And that's how you keep power over women. You keep feeding them drugs, and you keep taking all their options. You isolate them. Typical, just sexual deviant, dehumanized behavior. And just as a human being, it makes me sick to my stomach.
So that's pretty much where it ends. Kiki eventually, it's just more of the same, more of yelling. Nothing gets resolved. Nick doesn't answer the question. And then she ends up reading part of the text that April sent her. And Nick bolts. Let's go ahead and watch that real quick.
Here's what she said. You want to hear it?
Hey, dummy, this is your conscious. And
I'm
yes,
2
you
minutes
are.
past my heart
Wanna
out.
hear it?
You're the dumbest ever.
She's
And doing
talking
this
about
to your
you
friend is
and Kayla right
horrifying.
now. I've
Please.
been emotionally abused by both of them. He did acknowledge it weeks ago and apologized and cried.
When did you
And
get permission
said
to
he
share
only
that,
did it
Kiki?
because he was hoping to get through this as us three. And he felt her going away and he didn't know what to do at the time. Now he realizes he doesn't know what he has and he was trying to save it because he didn't know how to save it with her. So there you go.
There you go. There it was. Nick couldn't take it. Bolted.
Well, no, he can't. He's a jerk to women.
Look.
This just proves it. He's a hothead. Likes to yell at ladies. It makes him feel big.
Yeah. And he jumped like a coward. Threw in the towel. He couldn't handle it anymore. She got him so rattled. It's so beautiful. Great job, Kiki. Great job. I'm sure you're like me right now. It's almost I can't take any more of these idiots and cucks. But I want to wrap it up with one more clip, and it is post this where Melton tries to wrap up this in a bow. And I love Melton. You know, Melton will terrorize April and other people days on end, hours on end. And then when things get a little too serious, Melton gets real serious and he's like, oh, everyone just needs to chill out. This is just jokes. We're just having fun. Watch this shit. Watch this motherfucker work. You ready?
Mm-hmm. No, I don't even know what the fight was about. Look, this is very personal for Nick. And whenever things are personal and you get emotional or feel it, you're probably going to come across not great because your emotions are involved. You're screaming. They're both name calling. It was all ad hominem stuff. Kiki, of course, professional comedian. So she knows how often to do a joke.
Oh, sarcastic.
So your boy got his ass handed to him, and now he's making 80. Oh, she's a comedian. That's why she's so much sharper than him. He's an attorney.
Yes, you're right. You're absolutely right. He's an attorney.
He's an attorney, and he can't stick up for himself. Thank God I never hired him.
Not only did he have to sweep for him in the showdown with Kiki, he has to sweep for him after it. So now he's got to make excuses after it. Listen to it. I mean, what the fuck? Are you kidding me? It gets worse.
Of course it does.
Yeah, here we go. I love this Melton. This is like the Melton's final thoughts. He just fucking drops a nuclear bomb on people's personal lives and makes jokes about their kids
as cup holders. And she's singing like, dude, she's right. Your daughter's got a cup holder too. I hate to tell you. Turn her upside down.
I know they're just jokes, right, Johnny? They're just jokes.
Oh, yeah, it's funny. Nothing funnier than making fun of 10-year-olds' vaginas.
No.
It's hilarious. I mean, my knee hurts so bad from slapping it. It's like,
yeah,
the dead baby kid joke thing. Maybe went away about 20 years ago. I don't know. That's just me. But he's a fat comedian stuck in the 20-year ago time frame.
Well, he can try to spin it how he wants, but watch this. Watch this pitiful Melton's thoughts. Melton's final thoughts.
None of this stuff is serious and real. Rekeita's case is done. Kiki's gonna Kiki. And what? Nobody took an L. Nobody won. These are entertainment programs. It should remind everybody that. Reset our base level here.
Don't even.
Your whole thing is predicated on wins and losses. His whole mission is to, quote, wreck Aaron's life.
Imagine what I think of my daddy, Aaron, when I'm older and see all of his videos.
No.
I can't wait until I'm 18 and come on Patrick's show and come at the same time as Patrick.
Jesus.
It will be glorious. Catch you losers on OnlyFans in 5 years.
This is just Melton basically trying to wash off the grime of the Dabbleverse. He's trying to wash himself clean of it all, but
You're a fucking uncommitted loser. You don't give a fuck about anything. And yet you pretend to be a victim about everything. Again, fuck your wife. Fuck your children. Fuck your children. Fuck your little brown mulatto children. Fuck them in their little asses. Yeah, I hope they bleed walking around Neverland Ranch.
but it's preposterous. I mean, it goes back to everything we said before. These guys say one thing and do another, and they lie right to your faces. Now it's not about wins and losses. Now it's not about who looked good and who looked bad. This is just entertainment. This is just, why is everyone taking these things so seriously?
Yeah, that's what you say when you lose. Oh, we're just here for the fun of the game. We just showed up to have fun. We didn't care if we won or lost.
Johnny, it's been a blast. You know, I would say hopefully these guys will keep their mouths shut, but I have a feeling we're going to be doing this in another 11 months, probably. More charges, more legal ramifications.
Well, you know, you can see everybody's health is deteriorating. Melton's has giant boils on his face. Karl's stomach is so extruded now, it looks like he has some kind of fatty liver disease or some kind of bad thing going to him. Rekeita, he's on doing, his nose is red. What's going on?
He's turning blue. His fingers are turning blue.
You could see the outline of the nitrous can on his face when he's doing podcasts. None of these guys will listen, but we just give him an education. on how big a pieces of shit all of you are.
That's right. And don't take offense to that, Nick, Melton, Karl. These are just jokes. This is all just entertainment, okay?
Yeah, just all entertainment, and yeah, we're just here to have fun. It's all a goof. It's all a goof.
It's all a goof. Please don't clip us. Don't clip this. Don't play this on your show. Don't bring any traffic to my content or my YouTube page or Johnny's MHH Network. Don't do that. Please don't. Don't you dare make an AI voice of me or Johnny. Don't you dare. Don't bring any attention to us. We don't want that. Okay.
And if you do, we're going to send Jason Bardo X right over to your house.
That's right. We ain't Dabbleverse. Kush Army, we'll see you on Rumble. We'll see you on YouTube, MHH Network. Thank you, Johnny.
Thank you, Noz. Great time as always.